want to see it everywhere. I don't want to see anything but this again. 7-0 start, dominance across the board. And I mean, look, it's funny that I drew the comparison to like 2020 Valorant when we had a team dominate every single tournament, and there was a game on Ascent where they just went, let's go B every round. They just ran B.
You better watch out. They're going A again.
They're doing it.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm gonna have to cut you off. They're running into the A site.
We've never seen this before.
Yeah, we haven't seen this yet. There is a push coming through mid though, more aggressively from that defense. Now Boaster, does he catch?
There's no way.
It's gonna be down to timing. 3 players are managing
to
potentially bypass him.
No.
He doesn't catch them, and he's missed them. He's missed them just about. He's still wrapping him from behind, but it seems like he's given the information over to the rest of the team. Zipan now has, well, he thought he had them boxed, but instead, he was the one trapped in. And in fact, utility being expended, but Alpha yet to go over the top. You thought the Fnatic were trapped. It turns out it was the other side that was trapped. Finally, Chronic, yeah, he's going to end it with the operator again. The breach op is somehow working a lot better than I thought it would.
That's going to be a frustrating round for Boaster. You know, they're 8-0 in the lead. You don't really care if you get the kills or not, but that was a perfect flank.
Is it a frustrating round for Boaster? Or is it a frustrating round for the players that managed to get past Boaster and still lose?
That's true also. I mean, he comes up behind, grabs that one, and Alpha's like, no. The rest, they're for me. Look, at this point, everything's working out. Oh,
bro,
Lord.
I'm scared, bro.
He's scared for them. And Gentle Mates are scared as well. They've called their second timeout. 8 rounds into Gentle Mates map pick, and they are running out of solutions. But running out of solutions isn't the right way. They haven't found a single solution.
No. Someone should let Fnatic know that the B site exists. But I guess at this point, they don't really need to.
No.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It sounds ridiculous, but at this point, Gentle Mates, just stack A.
No, this is the round. This is the round where you have to, as Fnatic, try something different. I think. Now, funnily enough, they probably won't. But the idea that
that's the mind game.
Yeah,
it's like
no, it is.
Now that we've gone A this many times, they're gonna think because they've taken a pause, we'll change. No. So if we don't change, they'll be confused.
I'm telling you, man, this was 2020 G2. They did the same thing on Ascent. B, 12 rounds in a row. They said, we're better. We're better. Let's telegraph it. Let's make it obvious. And the thing is, you come into this round.
So you're saying they've read the Mixwell strat book?
The Mixwell 2020 strat book has been read and memorized. And for Gentle Mates, they come into this round. They've called a pause. They've got pistols. If this team is not, I know they're not, I can see, but if this team is not stacked A from Fnatic's perspective, you don't know what is going on. But Mates have got a different idea. It is proactive control. It is that little bit of aggression, but they're looking to walk up on B as well. The thing is, no one wants to continue that push. You do not push past
look at the rotation.
This part of the map because Boaster will be waiting for you.
Looks like they're sending at least... Nope. Nope. Okay. I thought for a second that Mates were going to rotate to stack the A site. For everybody at home, you're not going to believe this. I have a feeling.
No, it's a fake. It's a fake. They go B.
Oh, they backed off for a second. Boaster made the call. Guys, do we finally go to the B site?
No, they don't. They go. I hate to spoil this. I haven't got Fnatic's comms.
I haven't seen the end.
I haven't got Fnatic's comms in my ears, Tom, but I do have at least a semi-functioning brain. And the A site, yes. Statistics.
They could still go B.
A wise man once said, stats do not lie. And although they could rotate at this point, no, they haven't. It's a...
That's what Mates should do, just block them.
You know, maybe they could stack A. I don't know. Okay. But I also understand. You expect Fnatic to go back. You expect them to fake. You expect them to respect you.
If they go 12 rounds in a row...
No, they might. They might.
I think we just end the series there.
Genuinely, though, they are at this point where Fnatic do not care about Mates. They don't care about you as players.
They might stack. By the way.
If they stack, we'll go kill them all. In-zone flawless. It's the in-zone flawless map so far, Tom. It's 9-0 to Fnatic. When will Mates get on the board? 3 ults, rifles?
I have a better question.
This is when will they stack A, isn't it?
No, it was actually when does Boaster get his first death?
Has he not died?
No, he's not died. And last time he got pushed by 3 people and they all walked past him.
Maybe he'll get his first death when he leaves the spawn. I reckon that's when it will happen.
That's the strat. You can't be killed if you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Stay inside.
Hide up the stairs. It's just isolation protocol here on Abyss. 9-0 for Fnatic. if you're just joining us, well, the game didn't start that long ago, but it will be ending soon if it keeps going this way. Halftime break will be longer than most of these rounds.
Yeah. They also only got 3 rounds on attack last time when they lost, so...
Here.
And also, just to make it a little bit worse, when Gentle Mates won versus Heretics, they had a 9-3 defensive half.
Oh.
So... It's just really not...
Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they can have a 9-3 defensive half from this point right there.
No,
Right.
Unless we have to restart the game,
Grounds
which has
and
happened
numbers. Yeah.
to me before.
You're here, Tom. I don't see a Killjoy. We're all good.
No, it was Cypher on that one.
Oh, wait, it was the Cypher restart. Oh, it was the Camp Breeze, yes.
Well, okay. Opening
we go.
pick has gone their way. Boaster is venturing way too far from the nest. He's got to be careful.
That's not the spawn, Boaster!
He's just walked through. He's just walked through. Kayak has walked through.
What?
Yeah, that's not a decoy. That is actually Kayak. He is on the top of the site. He's going to take down 2. He still doesn't realize that Mini's at the front. This is a very weird round. Oh, he's just pulling out style points. He's going to get a plant down on the A site again if he wants to. Guys,
Will this be the first A-site plant we've seen, Tom?
I'll have to ask Kukuka for the stats.
We'll have to get the stats up after the game. 10 seconds.
Running back hasn't come back online.
We need them back to figure it out.
Spike planted.
Okay, both going up rope, both into heaven, sticking it together. From Mate's perspective, they're doing the right thing. They've grouped up, they're making the retake. They've already made it to the spike, but the problem here, man, you're certain that this squad is on the other side. You're certain that they're playing this towards main, and in fact, they're not. There we go. They've denied Cadaver the defuse, and Click assumes Boaster must be in the spawn. He must be in the spawn. He's been there for 9 rounds, but finally he moved. And if they had another pause, they might call it.
Oh, that's the first time he's made it to sight. And of course, you know. This is mental. Like, genuinely, if you look at the map, you think that's a decoy until it starts jumping up on the top. It's also the fact that they still don't know that Mini's in the corner.
Yeah, Mini's just sat there. Hear no evil, see no evil. You can't see me, I can't see you.
Yeah, he saw evil. An updraft.
He saw a lot of evil.
A double shot with a shorty. Oh.
Wow.
10-0.
You know, Fnatic lost from 9-3 up against BBL. Not on this map, but
No.
it's a bit of a different vibe here. I have to be honest with you. Big push coming out from Mates. They get one, and Chronicle shows us the same face he's brought to that stage all month long. 11th round seeming certain with the Blade Storm online yet again, but it won't find its mark. Zipan steps up, 25 HP. Robbie BK's in there. Mates, finally, it seems, have found the solution. Now, the last guy, they might suspect this. He's in the spawn. Actually, Cadaver just heard him.
Just for the flawless game, Mitch. He still hasn't died. A 1v2 for Boaster to keep the goose egg, 0 deaths on the table.
Tom, Cadaver heard him drop, heard him jump, and thinks he has the spike, and that he's going the other direction. He's calming that this is probably a B hit, and that maybe he's gone up mid, but they don't know the spike still sat here. They gave up the control.
But the thing that's funny as well, that in Boaster's mind, he has to be thinking, well, they've killed a guy who had the spike.
Yeah, they're just sitting here
They
holding it.
must be here because
30 seconds
yeah, he's got to clear everything. Like, logically, you've got to.
You have to, of course, yeah.
But and also for Boaster, it's exactly the same thing because there's no way that the opposing team wouldn't know that the spike was there. But that has both things have occurred. And now Boaster has ended up in a scenario where he can look to keep the perfect game alive. A 1 versus 2, a very obscure angle to take. So whether or not the first person checks it on the way in, he's also going to hear the door being broken as well. There's a very real chance.
Mates seem to be on their way to their first round victory. And it's Boaster, not a death on the board, who stands in their way. 2 players, Cadaver and Robbie BK, they've cleaned up so far. Diffuse has started, wild spam from Boaster, and he hasn't stopped it. Gravwell goes into play. That's bought him at least a little bit more time. It's ticking fast, and Cadaver's down. It's just one who stands in his way, and no more. Boaster unyielding in the face of Gentle Mates. A Red Bull clutch at 11-0. This is decimation from Fnatic.
For anybody wondering, dying to the spike doesn't count.
It doesn't.
He is still 7-0.
Spike down.
I guess this was they were saving their secret weapon until the very last minute. We've always been told that the Boaster clutch statistics are off the charts. And in a 1 versus 2, he's going to keep it going. That's the slow
Whoever got that,
clutch from Boaster. 11-0. And well, guess what? They've got the dimensional drift. Now, I am looking at Alfier on the other side of the map. But that spike is still heading their way in. Zipan's had enough. He's put Kayak in the dirt, and actually, the defensive side are pushing up middle. There's a chance they catch the players with the spike, but Boaster, his timing will be utterly perfect. He's been blinded by the flash, though. And it could be the Gentle Mates are going to shut them down in the final round of the half.
Oh, hell, it is a lifeline, a single lifeline, if they can convert it. Already, the first man has fallen. The op of Alfier, though, flanked out by Kadavra, leaves Boaster. He's in the spawn, and it might be his first death of the half. In fact, it looks like it will be. They have finally dealt with Boaster. It took 12 rounds to do it, but mates are finally on the board.
Oh, it was a bleak half, to say the least, if you're a Gentle Mates fan. And for Fnatic, that is about as good as a redemption on Abyss we ever could have seen. We'll be back shortly to potentially wrap this one up.
Push up. It's a bait for Mini. They were expecting it as well. Chronicle wise to those tricks, but Mini still able to double up, and a string of kills for mates. That must be the most dominant round we've seen from them so far, Tom. Don't think I'm going too far out there saying that. An in-zone flawless for 11-2.
Yeah, a decent start. And that's the thing, like we'll obviously joke about potential of a comeback being next to nothing until they get to about 10 rounds, then I'll start to believe. But the main thing for me is I just think warming up into the series. Like, it can definitely be a case you come in a little bit cold, don't have the start you're looking for, you get shut out on the map. But even just, yeah, getting a little bit more lively, finding some frags on the server, even just realize, okay, we can match up, especially with Fracture up next, a map that definitely been a bit more of a struggle. Early stun.
Revealing area.
Early utility. It's a stack on the A site from Fnatic, maybe expecting their opponents to steal their strat. And they are. And it is also working.
Very bold attempt from Alpha here. Yeah, look, it's not the hardest strategy to counter when you're playing around like this up against pistols. Someone jumps around the corner with a shorty. You really only die to that if you've put yourself in a position to die to that. And they were nicely...
You mean like Mini in the last half?
Exactly, yeah.
You never really died to that, except last map.
Well,
where it did
okay,
that.
all right. Well, when a guy comes swinging up a rope and you've been hit by a Hunter's Fury...
No, this was the kill that he got where Alpha updrafted and then flew down and shorted him in the face.
Okay, also exceptional circumstances, if we're being honest. Both of those are a little out there. But no, mates are handling this round really well. They've got 2 pistols, so even if they lose a rifle or 2,
I'll also
they'll be able
say,
to pick them up. They're playing passive.
Welcome to the B site. For anybody who this is your first game watching.
No.
30 seconds left.
Calm down.
Come on,
Slow down. That's there's a rifle. Well, he's got a rifle now. Potentially if he goes up to... Oh, no, wait, those are both the pistols. Never mind. The 3 rifles are still okay. It's all good, actually. I just statistically 2 out of 3 died. I assumed the guys further back would have the rifles. Luckily, that's now the case with the ones on site, having them to work with, and nothing really there for good old Boaster. Few headshots needed, none found, at least not for him. And a round win for Gentle Mates that puts them up to 3. Still quite a gap, an uphill climb and a half. Bit of a trek, but it's doable. We've seen it.
Yeah. This will be the first fire round, of course. Is where things should get a little bit more interesting. And well, we're probably not going to get to see a mass amount of this half from Fnatic, but I think one of the things that makes this sort of exciting is that defensive aggression. Like, where Alfia and Kayak, are they going to play together? By the looks of it, for now at least, the answer is no. Well, after getting a taste of the B site in the last round, it seems like Gentle Mates actually do look to go in that direction in general.
Who's next?
Ult used, gate crash to gain space. Mini's already spotted one, looking for the site clear though, and there it is. One spotted up there. Second gate crash put out so he can claim some space. And in fact, the space is given up, but Kayak will not have an easy run of it. Mini shredding him. Kadavra with another. That's Chronicle down in middle, making these rotations a little bit more strenuous for this squad. Alpha and Crashies have to peek it together. Boaster has to concede his space because his teammates aren't with him that quick. And with all these things going wrong, 5 players alive for Mates, no information on the site, limited utility for the retake, and certainly limited bodies, they decide to save on the other side of the map. Kadavra almost made that a little bit of an issue, but he's been taken down. It looks like it'll be nice and easy for Fnatic to carry those rifles forward. Still, the comeback is steadily moving forward for Gentle Mates. At the end of the day, this is their map, and I don't think they're going to win. I think that's a very, very long journey,
wait,
right?
Really?
But the reality is, Tom, as long as they can at least start to put rounds together and make us think, oh, this is a map that you actually, you've got something
Sure
on. You're an RIT.
Something that bold?
It is. You know, look, I'm really going out there. Not sure you needed to take that. That's just a little bit of confidence for Alfier. Yeah, look, the 11-4 comeback. I know, Tom, a lot of people call me crazy for saying it's not likely. A lot of people believe.
Oh, I thought you just meant in general.
That too, but I was trying to keep it honed in on this scenario. Yeah, I do think, like, as long as Mates can build up that confidence, you go out of this map 13-3, 13-2, 13-4. It's not a nice feeling. It's your map pick. You're moving into Fracture somewhere. Fnatic are definitely comfortable. Haven as well. You're going to have that ISO out of Alpha to deal with.
It's also with Fracture that they were uncomfortable. Like,
yes,
they lost
yes.
13-3 on that map, so you're going to go out of a dominant loss into
in a map
you're a previous dominant loss. He's doing tricks. Like, I've seen just Alfia fly around the map. Now, the problem is that is one of their only rifles.
Look where the other one is.
And, yeah,
gone.
they're all gone.
Gone.
Kadavra cleaning up. Important to remove the threat of that round. And while Boaster, that KD is getting worse by the second. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, man, it was perfect earlier on.
Enemy remaining.
But now, we've already had the Quattro K. Let's see if he can bring it all the way to 5. 8 bullets left for Kadavra. You're talking about confidence builders and, well, getting an ace on the board, dominantly winning some rounds. That's what we want to see from Mates if they're back in this series, even if they're not back in the map. Showing off those trophies. History for Fnatic indeed. And the history tells us they will take this across the line. For Mates, here it is. The potential of the ace. Kadavra, though, he's
just laughing to himself.
He's having a good time. You can see it in the player cam. smiling ear to ear. Looks like he might not get the chance to finish off his Mona Lisa. Unfortunately, the ace has been stolen, but 5 rounds at the very least. I've never seen a man look happier to have an ace taken away. You know that? Against Fnatic,
I
too.
can imagine there's probably some comms that we can't play.
It could be.
Don't know what was said. But already, Fnatic are going to take, in the grand scheme of things, a relatively early pause, wanting to try and sort of stem the momentum of their opponents. Again, we've sort of mentioned it, even just getting themselves back into the series with some individual players starting to show up. Kadavra looking good in that round. Mini still up there. And just wanting to end things as quickly as possible and move on to their map choice.
It's a really good sign as well, seeing Kata start to warm up as well on Astra, because this is somewhere that I talked about it on the desk. He's a flex player. We've seen him take Sentinel, and in the Sentinel form, he still has such a good understanding of the game that he can push and pull the map. He can play off his utility. When you look at him in an Omen, I mean, look, you've got players like Avova, more recently like Boo, who have made that Omen look like a duelist more times than I can count. So that's somewhere that I see him being able to still bring that individual level to the server. And I just think Astra, well, let's look at how Boaster played Astra, right? That's not how you want Kadavra playing. So he's obviously going to be a bit more hybrid, a bit more in the action. But just as an agent, it removes you a little bit more, and it doesn't give you the same utility to set yourself up. Now, as I said, he's a team player. He doesn't mind that much. I like to see this guy where he can have a little bit of flair.
I was about to say, tell that to Woot yesterday.
Fair.
There are players that can make it work.
Consistently? Maybe. maybe. I don't know why I'm down.
I felt like Woot is an exception to me.
I don't know. Woot's an exception, but he's also against Mark New. You know, who knows how much that fire lit underneath him.
Well, already a little bit of early utility being put into play.
Take flight.
Drone should force Alpha back, tries to take a pot shot, but will be met with nothing. A lot less direct from the side of Gentle Mates, though. The spike can quickly rotate if needed. There you go. That'll be Mini to the other side of the map. Kayak is the point of contact. That seems to be the plan for Fnatic. Leave one duelist on either side. Give them the opportunity to end the game themselves. And while Kayak may just have to opt to get out of there on this one.
He's sticking around. Doesn't look to be deterred. Damage done, but no kill. Click still alive. And Mini from afar claiming that they're ready for Boaster, but he's still able to land at least the one and get out alive. That's put things back to equal footing. A late play from Zipan. It's about to be spotted. Alpha steps in. What a reaction. Wonderful shot, and the advantage now for the defenders. Robbie BK takes note of that, and they don't want to sit back anymore. It's time to get aggressive and bring the fight to their opponents, but now backing off a little bit. They didn't see the contact they wanted, and the time starting to tick. Backside control by 2. There's utility on its way. Click has to cover the cross, and he will not find anything. Big swing from Kadavra. He's good for 1, but another big play needed. He's already picked up 2, but around the back comes Chronicle. And with plenty of time left, Fnatic are now 12-5. 7 chances to take it across the line. This went from bad to worse for Mates.
This almost reminds me of like some of those old school Cosmic Divides. It's not in a bad position, but it's more so just abused by their opponent. That's exactly what Boaster does. Just swings into it, knows that he can get a kill and get out without any reaction really being allowed. And from then onwards, the clear of mid, the removal of the lurk, ended up with that first fall for Gentle Mates. The problem is now, even with the 4-round streak, they now need to commit 7 in a row. B site seems to be the point of call, with a Hunter's Fury maybe going to be used early.
I think when they're this direct, yeah, very, very likely. Reveal first, just to try to grab that extra information for placement. They haven't spotted anyone, and Kayak was in the smoke, waiting for Mini to take that great gate crash. A great read, indeed. 12-5. And Fnatic have the advantage, not just in rounds, but in players. They can wait now for the whole unit to be here. Click has managed to sneak himself up close, though. He's got support.
The Hunter's Fury sent through to disrupt, but it's Kayak again, still keeping them in that lead. And now Robbie BK, the leader, to try and hold on. Going to utilize the drone, but he is slaughtered almost immediately. It wasn't much of a comeback whatsoever. Well, Alpha even going to mock his opponent on the opposite side of the stage. It was a clean victory on map number 1, and now Mitch, their own choice.
Yes, now Fnatic get to take it to their home turf. We're going to Fracture next. Before that, though, we're going to a break.
Nice! Nice! No! Yeah! Nice! Nice! No!
Red Bull gives you wings.
I want a new career.
F1 driver, Jedi, musician. Wibbs got boo. This is my kind of office party.
I want an epic adventure.
Have you heard of the Great Circle?
What?
We got you.
I'm traveling the world?
Hold on to your hat. Who's next?
I want to play with all the League of Legends champions.
Riot benefits. Say less. We got you.
I'm not the ones in the game.
You're in the game now. Get all this and more with PC Game Pass. You know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, we got you.
On a distant world, darkness marched ever closer. In the hour of reckoning, you stood as one. And all the while, you are vacuuming. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Miss your body, baby. No, I cannot believe that you're still single, lady. Wishing I could retreat. I want you here with me. Be my lover, be my trophy, be my woman, be my lover, be my
Well, Fnatic, they couldn't win on Abyss this entire time with the map being in the map pool, and they have finally done it dominantly as well against Gentle Mates. I am your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Billy, and of course, Kakuka joining us as well.
I really made it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Alpha a lot in the pre-show, and we have to talk about Alpha again, because I don't think anyone could have guessed that they would put him on the Jet.
I mean, I think that we could see a little bit on that Haven, but finding this solution, just making him go with Kajak onto the sides, it is so refreshing to see Alpha in a role that fits him so much and that he's always been so successful.
Yeah, and Billy, he's never played the Jet on Fnatic ever before. Yeah, and the last time he played, I think he was 16 or 15.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about the fact that we've never got to see him on this Jet, but I'm glad that we have now, right? I think I had mentioned it kind of in the pre-show that Haven, we've seen Kayak look more comfortable by having Alpha on the ISO, and I think the same applies here again. You see the comfortability between the two two of them, being able to make plans, going in site together. And that's the thing. Most of the time, it was only 3 players going in on site to take over.
And it was beautiful. Probably we saw the same round unraveling time after time, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Like, the positions that they had on the map, and even when mates, after 8 rounds, they tried to do a push just because of this position that Boaster was keeping for the entirety of the half. And the reactions that they were having, also pushing, moving all the time, disruption. Even after mates getting that first kill, it doesn't matter because they're not in control of the situation.
And it just felt like there were so many layers, right? I'm glad you mentioned that mates, they tried. It's not like they were like, okay, you can just go A, we're not going to try and counter this. But Billy, it almost feels like old school Fnatic, where when they know how to counter their own stuff, and they were prepared.
Yeah, they were definitely prepared, and we kind of hinted at that before, that, you know, if they actually wanted to play Abyss, they've obviously been cooking something in the time that they've had to be able to prepare, so it was really impressive to see that come out. And I mean, just that attack in general, it was just absolutely flawless from Fnatic. As you said, mates had no way of shutting it down. We see them save round after round after round as well, because there was just no way of them coming back into it.
Yeah, and we're not harping on Boaster here for the 7 kills in the first half, Kukuka.
We're talking about the 1 death that he had, and it was only in that round number 12 that he went down. But what him and Kron were able to do with the positionings that they were playing, and also supplying the fact that they did not have a Sentinel. So we would see a Chronicle with the Operator, and as we're seeing here, the kills from Boaster is only in the late round that he becomes present. His duty is to make sure they're not going to be pushed. He has the flank. Even if mates tries to find a solution, he's going to be the first point of contact.
Honestly, who knew, Billy, that just playing in spawn is the way to win this map?
I think when you have the explosiveness of Alpha and Kayak, though, going into sight, like, it's understandable as to why he was able to play in these positions. And as you say, no Sentinel, okay, that's fine. We'll just keep Chronicle in an op, and we'll keep Boaster being able to make mates, you know, reconsider those flanks that they're going for.
They don't need to go into side, but Boaster can use the stars from far ahead. Chronicle can do the same, just setting the pace for them, and just Kayak and Alpha going in. And watch out, because this momentum that they've had, if they manage to translate it onto the next one, especially knowing that the fracture that Fnatic won was orchestrated on Chronicles and Boaster's amazing performance, both on the Smoker and the Initiator on the Breach, I'd be very scared if I was Gentle Mates.
Yeah, and this is the thing, that the reason that we were so excited when we saw the agent select, because Fnatic are not the team that changes comp week to week. They
Absolutely
never do that. They play the same Lotus comp for 3 years. They're not the team that do this. But the thing is, they've managed to figure something out, right? In between these weeks, they managed to find a solution. But for Fracture, though, even though they lost Kukuka, it is not about the comps.
No, I don't think it's about the comps. I think it's a map that they've been very comfortable in. Probably, I said this yesterday during the cast, and I think when you lose, you learn so much more about the way that you're playing it than when you win. So them re-picking this Fracture after what happened last week proves that they have found a solution. I don't know if it's going to be in changing the composition, or probably they spotted the weakness also in mates, because do not forget, they played this against Heretics and it did not look pretty. Click wasn't able to find an opener, and Heretics honestly did whatever they wanted with them.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I think from what we've seen from mates, it was a devastating loss, right? It was 13-3 against Heretics, and yeah, I mean, we've seen teams pick into maps that they've previously lost, and they don't let that go against them. You know, they kind of just reset, learn from the mistakes that they've
Watch
made.
Vitality yesterday on Blind.
Yeah, precisely.
I need to see Click come alive a bit more here. I know he was trying his goddamn best on the one before, but it just felt like he was just getting shut down over and over again. And even the times he did make a little bit of impact, Billy, it just wasn't traded. And this is not the Gentle Mates we've seen in previous weeks.
Yeah, it was frustrating to watch for him. You know, he was kind of giving away those first picks a lot of the time as well. And obviously, you don't want your duelist being the first one to go down. And it kind of just, you suffer in the sense of when you're going in for that retake, you don't have the one that can just dash into sight and be explosive with it. But in my mind, A, I'm looking forward to seeing Alpha back on that chamber, but B, it's actually Mini and Chronicle going up against each other, who both play the Breach on this Fracture.
Do you know what? I have a hot take. I'm not looking forward to seeing Alpha back on the chamber. I want to see him on a duelist.
So here's the thing. There's many things that if Fnatic is willing to change the compositions, I do not think that Fracture is on that point yet where you need to change something or it's just not working for you. But here, how about Kayak again on the Euro? He's having so much impact. And maybe Alpha on the Jet again. Maybe him back on the Chamber. On the race. There is no way. If they do that, there's no way that Mates can win this.
And I do wonder the conversation they had around the comp change, because I could expect that when Durka was there, if Alpha came up to Boaster and Elma be like, I want to play Jet, they would have just laughed in his face. They would have been like, yeah, whatever. You want to play Jet, you're not playing it. But let's see if he will be playing Chamber here, and if Gentle Mates are going to bring something different, because they've decided to swap Mini back onto the Cypher and Kata off of it.
It makes a lot of sense, right? We were speaking about it, about how Mini being on the breach didn't make a lot of sense. Zipan has also so much experience playing with this initiators. I think that he could be the best to set up Click if he wants to find that success.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Zipan jumping onto that breach, I mean, he's probably, he's the most experienced player on this team, actually. I'm just going to say it. He is the most experienced player on this team. And of course, you've got the others coming up from tier 2. So yeah, I think he's going to be really fundamental in how this map plays out for them.
Yeah, and even though Fnatic are started on the attack, I want them to do exactly as they did to close out on Abyss. Their retakes on this map are the best probably in the region. So that is what we need to see when we move on to the second half.
Yeah, and there's plenty of spaces for Boaster to hide in if he wants. If he was hiding in spawn on the last map, I mean, I feel like this map is going to be a bit of a playground if they reprise their strategies. But let's jump into this map and see, Mitch and Tom, if Gentle Mates can take us to a map 3.
Well, Tom, Fracture was released September 8th, 2021.
Great.
Part of Valorant's Episode 3, Act 2. And today, we get to see it played on the stage. Isn't that wonderful?
You got 99 more pages to go.
I have, but we're running out of time, Tom, and I think that's the hard-hitting analysis out of the way.
As long as we know that. As long as that's what Gentle Mates needed to know to sort of pick it up from last time versus Heretics. Nonetheless, yeah, I'm glad they swapped the roles. I think we've seen Mini have those strong performances on the Sentinel. I think Kadavra has been a master of smokes for quite a while, with playing it quite a bit last season, and Zipan on a breach is no stranger. It's more so whether or not, even with these changes, if they can match up to what we've seen from Fnatic. And this map, at least, has had its strengths shown in the past already. Alfie is looking for that early fight. I thought he was going to dissipate before getting the kill, but just about quick enough.
Well, that's another danger that's going to be in the back of your mind as the game goes on. We haven't seen the half of it yet. Chronicles breach has been terrifying, but it's the stun on the other side that does the damage. Crashies caught in the open. Free kill for Click. The squad falls back. Both players who pushed main now on the site looking to maintain control of Heaven. There is a trap wire. Click seems to want to peek ahead of it, at least confirming that there are still players on this side of the map, and well, that's to stop them blast packing into that position, of course. A very calculated grenade. Dodging the stun, though, is Mini, and a wonderful follow-up with 2 quick headshots. This round may just be put to bed by that.
Last player standing.
Already, Alfia now dropped and is left on to Boaster. Much quicker to get his first death on the scoreboard in this one, as Gentle Mates will start things off strong. And I'm already liking what I'm seeing. Having that aggressive stance in the pistol after struggling with their entry kill. Just having the stun to set up Click. And that's the thing. He did definitely struggle a lot when it came to their previous performance. But we know that what he's got in his locker. He was someone that was talked about a lot within the DAC region, and we've seen him still shine on the likes of a Neon and a Jet. I'm sure that the Raze performance of last was more of an anomaly.
Well, we shall see. Plenty of time to prove it on the server. Round 2 kicking off, and it's a goodbye all around for Mates. Only one coming in with a pistol, and that will be Kadavra. Name of the game, Fnatic. Well, on a map like this, plenty of orbs to be obtained. So for the attacking side, who will typically find it a bit easier to take those orbs, at least most of them, that's their job. Get orbs and take down as many players as they can. Make it costly. Mini already got tagged, Tom, so they've actually juggled that weapon over just to make sure that the person fighting isn't an easy target.
It's also one of those ultimates that's going to be fairly low down on the scale. Kayak's hoping to try and find the fight, and he will, but loses it. And Boaster, in the meantime, has just been on an orb collecting mission back over to the other side of the map to try and retrieve another. Obviously, Orbital Strike in terms of executions can be very effective. The A site itself, or even just clearing out tower on B.
Caution here.
Well, he's gonna have to work on his high jump. Didn't quite manage to go over that one.
Gotta pull those knees up, man. Gotta pull those damn knees up. Well, for Boaster,
gotta do the flop. That's what he did wrong.
He's gotta do the flop. Okay, I'd like to see you do the flop, Tom. On the way to the A site, Spike seems to even get planted out of this. Boaster's gonna have a lot of orbs. 3 away with the plant and with the death that's sure to follow. It will be just 2 coming into the buy round. That's a big round for Fnatic already. And it will end with that, as expected. Not much more damage. All rifles carried forward for mates as well. I think both have traded out relatively equally. Those orbs are worth a lot.
Yeah, this is an easy moment for them as well, that you can now do the same thing. Just fight for some early control, try and get that orbital strike online, and as said, there's a couple of portions of the map that can be fairly easily cleaned out. For Gentle Mates, though, again, you're in a great position.
Oh, who put that in slow-mo? It's just so rude.
I reckon it was Sue.
She's dialed in for that.
Kill a trip.
Even had the package to match up. Perfectly done. Well executed.
Our EBS team is something else, man.
Here we go. 2-0. A lead for Mates. And a very good buy coming up alongside it. Deep smoke being utilized. Kayak's gonna play above! And well, the quick reactions of the duelists, but there's a trade. It was a pinch on that side of the map. Kayak's now got a gamble based off teammates' information where he can retreat to. Mini, however, has doubled back around, managing to put this into a 3v3 scenario, and the space has not been garnered by Fnatic.
Yeah, this is better for them, though. They got Orb and went back, and Zipan just made steps. I thought they heard it. It looked like they did, but it certainly seems like they didn't. No idea there was a man there, and now a flash popped around the corner into his own utility. It was a nice play, but it hasn't worked out. Problem here, though, is Fnatic are split now. If Crashies runs, he might make it, but they're going to be just around the corner. They don't know he's legging it, so they don't chase. They don't catch up until it's just a little bit too late. They come swinging around the corner. Nobody's home. And it seems obvious now that it's a B hit. This is the worst part about the false information they've just gotten, having come from the A side. They're going to walk all the way up, and they're going to think, oh, they haven't planted yet. We're going to get here just in time to interrupt it.
30 seconds left.
Well, they're about to realize that they've made a little bit of an oopsie. And that might be very costly, especially with the nade still online for Kayak, especially with full utility for Crashies, Tom.
Open plant. It's just a position that they can get where they could realistically be anywhere in this post. They haven't had to play it safe. Still, though, a seize, a haunt, and a Molotov and a smoke. There's still utility for mates as well.
And it's the drone from main. You're telegraphed that these players, at least one is inside main. Probably the Raze is going to be with you, right? Let's reveal. They could be on the site. They do check sand, but Kayak gets one, runs down the clock. 2 shock darts for Crashies. The first already lands. It's a danger. It's a threat. Robbie's healthy enough. He's waiting for the peak. He's waiting for that extra shock dart for Crashies to go swinging, but Crashies is confident that he's taken him off the spike. Crashies playing it to perfection. Gets the first for Fnatic.
Well, to play it in the late round. Making sure that those post plants are going to keep clean for Fnatic, but all in all for mates, definitely not a bad round. It comes down to, well, firstly, this shot was just insane. Like, the fact he's able to correct fast enough is ridiculous. But I'm really liking the way they're playing the map. Like, consistent pushing. I think the only thing was this. A little bit over-aggressive in a position where you already have the advantage. I didn't like that. I think, obviously, you don't know. Maybe there could be a player coming in from behind, doesn't want to get trapped himself.
This is your map.
But that could have easily been around for Gentle Mates, and now Click one away from having that showstopper. Boaster. I'm actually surprised he hasn't already got the orbital strike online. It does seem like he's creeping his way towards an ultimate orb, although he is alone.
Have to be very cautious. We can see that there is a setup ready and waiting. A stun that would have been fired out if the orb was touched, but the haunt went up. The haunt saw nothing. Now, though, Robbie sends out the prowlers and it catches. If Boaster was able to let that slip by, a big danger in the round. Boaster, he runs back. He's faking the rotation away, taking the rope to his teammates. Those smokes not online just yet, though. Not up top at least. It gives Zipan an angle, but it's Robbie BK who shuts down the first leg of the push. Now they get close to the door, wanting to fight in and catch Boaster as he sprays back through the door. He's not expecting that much aggression. A 3v5 now for Fnatic, and Crashies is looking for some kills.
Alpha's managed to bring back one. 2 players isolated to the site. Chronicle gets another. No opportunity for trades. These are 1v1 fights. They're handing them to those individuals on Fnatic, and you better believe they're going to win them.
Find you.
From a huge advantage down to a 2 versus 2. They know where Alpha is, but Chronicle manages to sneak his way forward into a close corner, an off angle, but it's expected. Even still, Alpha's landed. Another shot again! And it will be 3 for him in the round. These have got close. Even with advantages across the board for mates, but even still, Fnatic are clutching up.
Oh yeah, and you got to keep that last map very much to the front of your mind. Fnatic making a recovery on their previous Abyss performance. They came in looking sublime. And now they're on another map.
Isolated though. Like that's the thing that's frustrating about this. Like, this is a 3v5 scenario. Every single kill is a 1v1. Like there wasn't any position where, like Alfia had to snap between 2 players. It's like, okay, 1 kill, now I can reset and fight another. And I feel like you're just not using those advantages well enough.
Yeah, mates making mistakes, giving opportunities to Fnatic. Fnatic cashing in on them as well. These are things that we very much expect, but like I'm saying, you know, Fnatic made a turnaround. Their Abyss looks a lot better from the loss to BBL. They lost this map to Na'Vi, I believe. And from what we've seen, the turnaround they had on the first one was unbelievable. I'm not expecting it to be an easy game here because they came in picking it. This is the one that they might have expected Abyss. They knew they were going to get to play Fracture if it was left open. So this is what they've planned for. Round 5, Operator for Alpha. Lots of dangers. Weaker weapons across the board. Players hiding in these little nooks and crannies. Already one has been rooted from position, though.
Where the struggles that they had versus Na'Vi was based around this attack side. And I'll be honest, this could be 4-0 to mates. If they're able to convert player advantages, they would be in a flawless streak at the moment. Fact is, though, this round's going to be tougher. Some early damage onto Kayak at least makes him that little bit more vulnerable, but there isn't much to play with here. Mini doing damage again, but the rest of the players left with just pistols. Sure, there's a couple of ults, but I think if they use them here, they've lost the plot.
Quite an aggressive position from Alpha, considering what they're up against as well. Doesn't see any form of punishment issued to Fnatic. Plenty of HP on most of their players. Mates are just going to sit back and see if they can take some of those low HP guys down on the way out. If they can box them in. That's the only solution they're left with. Rifles for the next round, ults building up. Yeah, and this one, again, we're seeing the same sort of thing from Fnatic. They're grouping. We see post-plant here. The fact that we're keeping the utility on Alpha, he has his trap for that late round, which I guess was a problem. There weren't many problems on Abyss, but Boaster always had to play in the spawn away from the team covering that flank. Now they have that little bit of extra utility to help them out.
Yeah. The fun thing about this one is actually dying to the spike was almost completely null and void. Because you look at the side, well, you look at the defense, they had all their ults online. You look at the attack, they have all their ults online. So it was kind of like the only thing you could do was economic damage. But that has sort of, well, doing some damage here would have been nice. Because the 2 rounds that Fnatic won was off 1 player surviving. Now they've won the next with everyone surviving and all of their ults. This is a round you don't get to see very often. 9 out of 10 ultimates online, ready to be thrown into this round.
Now this is the problem. The snowball is starting to tumble. It's building up some steam. This could be a real big impact by the time we hit the bottom of those slopes. Mates on their way for the north side crunch. 5 players coming into position. Chronicle, well, he stands alone. His team has left. They've taken the rope to the other side of the map, and they might even make it to the A site before mates get back there. But mates, happy enough with that. Man advantage. They did use the orbital strike for limited gain. Other than that, clean start.
It's a spot, though, that they haven't been able to hold on to much. Like, this dish retake definitely makes things more difficult from Fnatic. They'd have to plan for where they're going to play that post spawn. In fact, even trying to get a bit more aggressive in towards the spawn. That hasn't worked out for them. I don't think Boaster's long for this world in any stance. And now comes down to Kayak and Crashies, but even getting the plant in without having any control, it's just not possible.
Door opens as well. Still know they're towards main, and now boxed in with Mini locking in the south side rotation. There's nowhere to take this for free. A battle up against at least 2 players wherever they take it. 30 seconds on the clock. Kayak wants to go to spawn. Crashy's going the other way. Kayak needs to win these duels. That's the spike. That would be the round. 20 seconds now as they thin out the herd a bit, but Crashy's he's left out in no man's land. If he finds value, this could turn the tide of the round. But if he goes down, it's done. A showstopper and a Hunter's Fury. Plenty to help them out in the late round. Only 1 player spotted by that ult. Now alarm bells are ringing. Where's that second player? They're looking for him. Will they check the right angle though? The nade puts pressure on, brings Kata to the open. They've heard the shot. The showstopper, it lands. Zipman's down. And damage is being done to Mini. This round should have been impossible. There was no question of which way it would go, but somehow we're here with Kayak. 4 kills on the board. And mates, they're not even gonna go for it. Mini's out of here. He doesn't want to give the ace away, but they've given the damn round away. Kayak and Crashy's A main. They did it before. They did it before in a post plan, but this is outrageous.
That's a 2 versus 5. Like, that's what we've just witnessed. Like, the round before was okay, a 2v3. I think the one before was a 3v5. Like, they feel a little bit more forgivable. This is a round where they've used 3 ultimates to try and convert this one over the line. They even used a Nightfall in the 2v5 to reveal one of the players, and even still Kayak managed to do enough damage that it's then worth investing that showstopper.
Which,
if there isn't a backbreaker in this, if that's not it, I don't know what is. That's got to be just brutal for the side of Gentle Mates, because that is one hell of a fumble.
Now, my guy made it look like we were running 2020 raids all over again. He throws a nade, forces a guy out in the open, kills him. It's actually better that Crashies didn't get that kill, because then when the showstopper's fired out for 1 kill, guess what my guy's got online? Another nade. Throws it close. What does that do? Forces another player out in the open, and he kills him. This, every piece of utility landed exactly where it needed to. And for Mates, what a frustrating way to see this slip away. The last map was their choice, and it was a disaster. They got rolled, and once Fnatic built up any steam, there was no stopping that train. Now, the brake's surely removed. It's a 4-2 start and a 2v5 clutch that you were left to 1 player to save in as well.
Wait,
really
it's crazy as well, because the player that got 4 kills, they knew exactly where he was.
There was the other dude
was hit. Trapped on side.
Hit by a fatal.
That was the only thing that I thought, like, oh, Crashy's shooting and not getting the kill is just kind of like, yeah. Oh, well, now they know where you are. Didn't matter. He was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Just watching Kayak activate his frag movie.
He was Jack Igo for a round. Got to spectate.
He's on T-Tours. Well, nonetheless. 4-2. That's not a scoreline that we should be looking at. I'm always happy to see those clutch rounds from Fnatic, but it's just starting to get more and more brutal for Mates that they can't convert these. Next, it has to be a 1v5. That's the only way that they can make it that little bit worse.
Well, Tom, you spoke about Mates having all their ultimates, and as you can see, there's a couple missing at this point. They've invested a lot. Fnatic had all their ultimates.
Yeah, just the showstopper gone.
Yeah. The investment and the return upon it, mind-boggling. And there it is. Boaster's on the board. He's got his first kill in the spawn. What a shot. Now they move to the site slightly. Stacked up though, some utility waiting. Mini's in a bit of trouble. They know he's here. They're right up on him. Crashies, Alpha showing up, leaving Cadaver to grasp it. Straws! That's 2 and almost a 3rd. That was very close indeed, but not close enough, because despite that big performance, that's the only performance that Mates have had in this round. Other than that, the show is cancelled. We move on to tomorrow night, 5-2, looking likely. It's Robbie BK to try to put a wrench in Fnatic's plans.
I'll find you.
Can he put 1 back on the board? I think they need it for the morale at this point. Already trying to force out, but with both of these ultimates online, it's never going to be easy. They might not even need them. The dart revealing the Molotov onto the spike. This is the post plant of Fnatic. It's never going to be easy from this stage. There's a reason that these players are so good at surviving, so good in the late round. That is a 5th guaranteed, and although again, there was a little bit of a spark, a moment where Mates seemed like they could turn it, it's not going to be the case. 5 in a row for Fnatic. Only the pistol and second have gone the other way.
That flame is quickly being snuffed out. Fnatic's map pick, and it certainly has that vibe to it. Domination across the board. It's the opening pick by Boaster. The fight on the site looking comprehensive. Kata finds a gap, but it's not enough. Mates, they've got a lot of problems sitting in front of them. It's all blurring into one when the timeouts were used. They've used the timeout here as well, right, Tom? Just a couple rounds ago. Not one. This squad is in trouble, to say the least. 5 in a row for their opponents. Still 4 ultimates for Fnatic, and one of them has just been used. You thought Alfier was doing a pretty good job so far. Well, obviously you see on the hood, he's got only a pistol. But obviously in his hands is a big golden gun. 1 shot to the body, that's all you need. And he's got 5 bullets. The fact that it's Alfier we're talking about, that is terrifying.
It's also worth giving the context. This could be pressure. Because for Gentle Mates or Fnatic, one of these teams is out of kickoff. Gentle Mates took a map off best team in EMEA and Heretics, and while Boaster, he's now under serious pressure. Again, we've talked about this aggression. This is what had the success with the defense, and Kadabra is going to give them that advantage. Chronicle even swinging back in, and it looked like a chance, but they have been slaughtered. Mention a 1v5. Thankfully, it is going to be denied. An in-zone flawless to break back onto the board for Gentle Mates.
That's what we needed to see. And again, it's this man, Kata, another 4K ace. Denied. Looking at you, Mini. But a nicely timed bit of aggression up through main. Mini's there with them as well, so they're confident to just post up and take these duels. Not even Alfier can land the shot before one of those two fires one right back. And with 3 on the board, they're still hot on Fnatic's heels. The problem is, that's 1 round, and it was 5 in a row for Fnatic. They still have 3 ultimates to fall back upon, and this is going to change the pace for Fnatic. Now they're looking to take the fight straight to them, to give no quarter to Gentle Mates, the B side under threat.
They still have Orbital Strike and Hunter's Fury, so they can use one of those to clear out some of the more dangerous angles. Well, that was dangerous for Alfier. There is that clear. Actually comes through from the defensive side, and already Click is going to go down. This leaves Mini in a very awkward position, and in fact they've had to fall back at least a little bit. Maybe not enough as Kayak is cleaning up.
Yeah, those smokes as well, that's where they had to fall back into, so it leaves one guy out in the open. Easy punish for Fnatic. Orbital Strike used. It's not going to be on point. Kadabra is still ready to take that ground and hold it with both hands. It's Boaster alone against 2. Spike down on the site, 50 seconds. He's got the time, and Robbie BK speaking. He's given the chance away. On the mini-map, it might have looked like an easy trade, but Kadabra was down below. And Boaster, well, he has no idea. Last spotted on the opposite side. Kata, where's he going? Is he expecting the A rotation? I think it's the right call, and it is.
Look at Boaster, perfect tandem. Literally almost aligned on the map.
It's perfect. That's a straight line.
It's whether or not
he's going to be here.
Both players start to second guess. That's the real question. And the cross for Boaster's going to be tough. He's going to walk straight into his opponent. Kadabra with the perfect read. He really has been the man of the moment for Gentle Mates as another round climbs onto the board, and he is at the heart of it.
What a nice read by him. Let's keep in mind the Orbital Strike was used on his head in this round. They took Click down, having pushed up on A. Rolling Thunder used to push into the B site. Avoided, but still, there was a pick taken by Fnatic. That's a stacked round up against them. Robbie BK does well to find this 2-piece, and in the chaos, while those players are pushing forward to try to make some ground up to trade out the players that have fallen, Kadabra is just picking the team apart, but it's that read in the 1v1. Of course, Boaster's going to go the other way. He doesn't know where you are. You could be in heaven. You could have wrapped around where you were in main. Everything is open. Instead, he takes it to a new battleground, but Kata was way ahead of it. Aggression tempered sometimes, but right now it's just slightly delayed into a shift wall contact that they continue. Even after, I thought they were going to go back.
Oh, that's the thing. That's where the success has come from Gentle Mates, is these aggressive takes. The only problem is not having that ability to escape. They don't want to at this point. The stun from Zipan. We mentioned that role swap. He has been doing work, putting that utility into play. With a Rolling Thunder now available, him staying alive is important. He's got to be careful that he doesn't miss the timing. They are looking to swing in behind him. It's actually his teammate that loses his life.
Kayak's gotten himself a double. This is Fnatic in the lead now, just 5 health on Kayak with the...
He got naded out.
Robbie's down below with nowhere to go. Showstopper was even fired in for security. Not quite needed. Minnie's the last one alive, and that is short-lived.
That's cursed. He was hiding in the attacker smoke that they put down, and that's exactly where Kayak decides to nade. He's got a choice of trying to run through the entire nade backwards or jump forwards, which is just immediate death. Again, a decent recovery. This is what I was saying, though. I love the replay, just catching him out, but it's then just the repositioning from Fnatic, taking some of that aggressive control to try and deny them from having any control in the retake. Come on out. Getting up to 6 rounds, you have to bear in mind where Fnatic have struggled prior on this map was the attack. Defensively, this compass looked very good.
That's it, with already a decent amount of rounds built up. How much more will they have? 2 to go. Gentle Mates, well, their credits have been knocked down to the last. Victory here for Fnatic will make the follow-up even easier. Operator for Alphayer and the full squad grouped up other than him, looking for this main fight, looking to run right into Click. But the utility is there from Zipan as well, waiting to pop that stun. They suspect that players could be close to the door. The stun goes through, the flash is perfect, and Click... No, it's actually the stun now, but it doesn't matter. Click's not using any of that utility. He's just firing on all cylinders. That's a quick double before he gets taken out. Alphayer, revealed, forced back, flashed. Everything's coming his way. A Prowler on him, and it's caught him too. Can't see a damn thing, and he'll eventually be put to bed. A bombardment of utility comes out of Gentle Mates, and that gets them north side control. With main having been stalled out, it's not really anywhere from Fnatic's perspective to go with this. It's a 2v4, Tom. Mates shouldn't lose this.
No, we've seen that already. They'll have an early warning system of that Cypher utility. I think Chronicle just moments ago faked out the sound on the door to try and bait players into believing that they were still around this area. That's all that they needed, though. A player walking in, the camera's still there for Mini, so they have pretty much everything they need other than the advanced position of Boaster, but that's going to be caught as well. Chronicle now in a 1v4. We've already seen a multitude of clutches going in Fnatic's direction, but this would have to be the best of them, and not really a lot of space for him to deal anything. Even with an aftershock in hand, he can't get back past that trip and just has to give up the round. It will be another for Gentle Mates.
Yeah, with Kayak and Crash, he's having limited investment ability for the next one. Their portfolio is going to have to be buffed out. So saving that weapon certainly helps in that regard. Click finding so much control. The first kill was on the back of a flash, so that's a little easier, and it happened to be just as they were about to peak. The second was individual prowess.
This is the thing, again, I want to give credit to Zipan. He's not even getting all of the assists he deserves, because he not only put a flash through, the stun to help with the second kill, there was an aftershock holding back another player, and then he puts the pop flash to help kill Alphayer as well. So his utility was all over the shop, trying to help his teammates from the middle of the map. It's not the most rewarding job in the world when you look at the scoreboard, but he's definitely been one of the main reasons we've seen them pick up rounds.
Mates have pushed up into A main this time, already forcing back Alphayer with the Prowler through the door. This might put a wrench in the plans for Fnatic, who wanted to do a 3-2 split into A site, but with only 2 players on that weaker side of A, with very little utility to clear those corners that they've now given up, you either wait for the north side for the satellite play, or you look somewhere else. But the rotation of Crashies to go back with these guys. Maybe that's the idea. Now you've got a drone. Now you've got a reveal as well. It's going to be much easier to get into A main. As we're seeing, it's going to be extremely easy to get into A main. It's being given up now by Mates.
The drone will be heard. Could be a ruse, so it hasn't pulled a full rotation just yet. The defense have a lot in terms of their ultimates, though, both committed, but it doesn't matter. Alphayer is quicker on the trigger. The only problem now is that timer. 25 seconds to make their way onto the site. The defense is fully rotated in, but the nade should deny any potential for aggression. That post-plant will be had, and as said, that's always where Fnatic are the most fierce.
That it is. Kayaks up close this time, though. Well, never mind. That's not a problem at all. In fact, it's a problem for Gentle Mates. Molly forces them forward into Boaster. And a quick mow down as the rest of the squad was forced into the A side hold, thanks to Kayak wrapping up behind. 7 on the board. Not a bad display from Fnatic.
Yeah, no, and this is a moment for Mates where they had a decent recovery towards the end, but could have been in a much better position. If they're going to survive in this tournament, this now comes down to them. Can they do it after the break?
I want a new career.
F1 driver, Jedi, musician. Wibbs got Boo. This is my kind of office party.
I want an epic adventure.
Have you heard of the Great Circle?
What?
We got you.
I'm traveling the world?
Hold on to your hat. Who's next?
I want to play with all the League of Legends champions.
Riot benefits. Say less. We got you.
I'm not the ones in the game.
You're in the game now. Get all this and more with PC Game Pass. You know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, we got you.
Welcome back, folks. Fnatic with 7 rounds on the board, now moving into their defensive side. And this is their map pick as well. Quite a difficult challenge for Gentle Mates if they do want to make it all the way to Haven and keep themselves alive here in Kickoff.
Yeah, the danger is, okay, we don't have much data to go on, but the data we do have is a 1-11 or 1-2-11 attack side when it came to the last time Mates played Fracture, and an 8-4 defense side, or a 6-6 defense side for Fnatic when they played in their last 2 matches. So they should be better on defense and Mates should be worse on attack. So the main look here is, have Mates fix those issues? They've changed those roles. Will they now come into play? Because I think Zipan has definitely shown those supportive capabilities. The main worry for me, can they deal with this man? On defense, he is going to be scary.
Oh, without a doubt. Already we're seeing aggression from Fnatic. Maybe the defense, but a bit of attack never hurt anybody. Oh my word! Alpha, yeah! My eyes are glued to the map, seeing Kayak flank with 2 players, thinking that's going to change the round, but Jesus, relax, man. There's the flank, yeah, nice shots. Let's see what else Alpha's got in the chamber.
I believe he might be the only man we need to watch at this stage. Nonetheless, some aggression.
There he goes.
It's another one for Alpha. Well, Kayak's going to put it to bed. I'll be honest, there's times where I like to be critical. This is not one of them. There is absolutely nothing you can do about that.
What a round for it to happen in as well, when you've lost your map pick, when you're 7-5 down at the half, when Fnatic already have a decent amount of rounds in that first half. You didn't want to see they come in with an in-zone flawless right here to start the second half, and it's off the back of that.
Slow it down. Still not slow enough. Needs slower.
Like, you know, there's no notes. There's no notes. It's just, don't let the guy kill 3 of you and collat you on the way in. Okay, kind of hard to avoid that. And you can see just how surprised they really are. That's the pistol round down the drain.
That was my face as well. That's exactly the face I made.
What that represents for Mates is not good. They are going to probably go 9-5 down. Look what Fnatic bring into this round. 2 pistols with plenty of margin for error.
Well, yeah, one of the pistols is Althea with a headhunter,
right,
so
exactly.
It's barely even a pistol at all. He's also working his way towards that tour de force, and although the operator is not what he's renowned for, still just as deadly as ever. See though if they can get anything done in this one. Even again, just trying to claim some of those orbs. You can see though that Fnatic at least have a bit of an idea of that. Crashy's fairly aggressive. Same for the players within A main. There's an attempt to try and deny them getting those ults.
Well, Alpha's...
he's only got a classic now.
He's had an interesting start. Yeah, that's all 3 Headhunter bullets expired and off the table. Rotation from Mates. They claim orb. and claim the B side. At least that's the idea. They'll go towards Alfier, who does now at least have the Sheriff to work with. And Boaster with the Bulldog, but a passive play on that side of the map, not wanting to give the Pistols the opportunity to overwhelm them.
Who had a spare Sheriff and didn't give it to him
30 seconds
initially?
left.
Well, it was probably Clicks, no?
Oh yeah, that might be true. That's true. I was about to say, I was just thinking, did someone have that ready for it to be whipped? Wow. Do they have another backup gun? Backup shield? Backup health? Oh no, the backup is just Boaster.
Spike planted.
Plant at least a few extra credits is something.
remaining.
An extra orb as well. But other than that, that is all she wrote. No more kills to be had. Another in-zone flawless for Fnatic.
Yes, a real moneymaker for this squad. I mean, there's even players coming in with light shields intact. Crashies sitting comfortably with the 50. In-zone flawless will matter more, I suppose, in the later rifle rounds. But right here, yeah, you ain't gonna turn your nose at it. There's been almost nothing.
POV, you're up against Alpha, yeah?
There's been almost nothing for Mates to write home about so far, but this round is where that has to change. It's 9-5. Fnatic steamroll their rounds. They build up a lot.
I had beat
Oh, they played Clix's comms for a second there. That was strange.
I need more Alpha impressions.
Yes, please. Let's get them to do something.
Every player. Just let's do every player in the league. We'll get it ready for stage 1. I'm sure the production team will be super happy to do that.
Wonderful.
Oh, now this is where it's crunch time. For Gentle Mates, elimination on the line. Kickoff could end maybe a bit swifter than they would have wanted it to. They've definitely shown life with a couple of wins. A map victory versus Heretics, but they haven't been able to take down any of the big guns. Looking at Alfier also having a judge and Kayak. He's looking to brawl.
That he is. He's lost his head for his trouble, though. Now Mates come in, overwhelm the site, and Chronicle is out relatively scot-free. That's not an ideal place to go for the reload. Boaster's got heaven control. Molly to stop them re-aggressing and buy some time so he can stay in heaven while his teammates get ready for this retake. Stun. Probably what they're waiting for here on Chronicle. In fact, he's just going out. Chronicle's looking for a fight. Yeah, so Chronicle breach entry is what they were waiting for. He's fired the gun and the race is on, and it's over. Just like that, finish line looking real close for Fnatic now. 10-5 on the board.
And that's almost reminiscent to their Fracture game versus BBL. It was Chronicle sat 24-10, and every time you tried to like go, oh, he's just headshot 3 people. Like that is the danger of Chronicle, is the depth he has individually on any agent in the game. A little bit quiet right now, but you can still see the threat. 10-5, 3 rounds for Fnatic to continue in their road along the lower bracket. A place that, well, maybe some would have expected them to fall eventually, but not in the way they did. Going down to BBL, I think, was a shock. Almost being eliminated by Na'Vi, it took a mass comeback for that not to happen. Versus Gentle Mates, though, I feel like it's been a different story. In control on map 1, and although some closer rounds early, in control in map 2 as well. There needs to be a gear shift.
Well, the winner of this is going to fit.
Yeah, there's an aftershock there.
But yeah, just for you guys at home, you don't survive if you're inside the aftershock. So just
I want to see his impression of that round.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get it with quite the same gusto.
Still, Kayak has a showstopper, and that, in essence, can be enough. There's one with a nade.
What?
I've seen this one before.
Yeah, and he had a lot less help.
Ooh, he was expected, but it doesn't matter. Still going to be able to find the kill. Trade back. Showstopper has been used, and there's another one. It is falling apart once again. Mini now left to try and clutch this one out, but they know where he is. Already utility being sent through, but the defuse has been stopped. Unable to hold on to it, at least for now, continuing to just try and spam on, but already Tahabi needs some kills, and Kayak, who guessed it? He'll be the savior of the day again.
It's starting to seem like the door might be shut on Gentle Mates. We've seen them put up some decent performances here at Kickoff, but Fnatic, a squad recently, like you said, sent down in a surprise loss. That's not something this team takes lightly. Their Abyss looked weak before, but in this matchup, it was flawless.
He thought it was a gap.
Put that in the replay. Yeah, and now this map, it seems to be the same sort of thing. We're looking at another potential 13-5, another huge turnaround. Like we said, Fnatic struggled against Na'Vi. They're not happy with that. They went back to the drawing board, came in here. Issues seem to be fixed, or at least not being exploited.
The biggest thing for me in the last two series, those difference makers, has been Kayak. Series 1, he was fine. Like, he wasn't the worst player in the whole server. He wasn't the best, but in the last two, he has been the best. Like, he was fantastic on map 1. Okay, maybe Althea could have pipped into the post. And this map is not even arguable. He has won them rounds individually off his back. The same thing he was doing within the tier 2 on his grind through Ascension. Right now, he is 21-9. There is not anybody even remotely close. In fact, the closest player is Kadavra, who's been doing his best. The remaining member of Mates from last year, but it's seeming like they might be dealt a similar hand. Still, I would say this squad, it's early in its life cycle, where it's not all doom and gloom, but it does turn out that maybe they're not quite ready to take down Fnatic.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it certainly a team that tests the best of the best, and for Mates,
if you go out to Heretics and Fnatic, that it is what it is. And like, as your first tournament as a team, first time IGLing at tier 1, if you lose to Heretics and Fnatic, I'm going to forgive you. I'll let it be.
Well, even then, you know, they took down Apex. I think Apex still has one of the highest performing players here in Kickoff. Fluorescent was looking fantastic. It's a team that's certainly not pulled any punches, but when it matters, it seems that the shots land on their chin. Fnatic not looking to be eliminated, not looking to give Gentle Mates the start of their own legacy. Rolling Thunder put through. It's desperation for Mates. They used it for Sand, but Fnatic were far back waiting for this play to come in, whether it was the ult or some util. They stayed out of danger. Now the question is, can Mates capitalize on the little space that they got for a big ultimate, for the only ultimate that they've got to work with?
Now Robbie BK is one away. A plant would do, or a kill would be nice. Chronicle's still within the sight. There's plenty of Fnatic players here, but he is stuck in the mud. You'd think he'd be dead by now, and finally Zipan's managed to put him in his grave. And while everything seems to be going the way of that attack side, Althea was left as a lone defender on the other side of the map. Now, he is one off a tour de force. So in reality, he'll have an op next round no matter what. So he could give it a go.
He could. The risk of giving them the op, but swap over to the rifle. Reload as well. They certainly know where he is. The cam confirms it, and Kadavra puts the bullet between the eyes. That's that one. Put to bed, and they've just walked over the op. Does anyone want it? Nah, not on the attack side, and especially on this map. 11-6, 5-round gap. Doable, obtainable, but for Mates, it is certainly looking unlikely. You think about Kayak, 21-10 at the moment. All he needs is one round, and they're at least guaranteed the OT. And he's had nothing but rounds so far.
Yeah, the amount of rounds that have looked done that he's been able to take. And that's also, it's also then gambling on like other players not being there. Like it's so difficult to find a way to have that belief. BBL did it in their victory on Split. From a worse scenario than this is so aggressive though. So aggressive round the edge of the cage, and maybe the round is right now. The third kill, well, it was yoinked by the IGL. That's the IGL tax. But how do you find a way back into this one? I'm looking at Kadavra. He needs another one.
What a round to do it in too, man. For Mates, that smoke is not making things easy. Peeking in, you can see nothing. They've got all the info, and well, he did hit him. That's not a missed shot. That won't lower the accuracy rating. 12-6 in zone flawless. Tom, they start this round out. They pop the Tour de Force. You're now thinking, okay, there's a dude, a very scary dude, stood with a weapon that can kill me instantly, and he can get out. So they're starting to use their util. They're popping cages on the corners, so you can't get that quick pick. They're trying to make this a bit annoying. They'll cam behind,
Flash
clear the space.
Backhaul as well.
And instead, Fnatic, they know. They want to go and get a little bit aggressive in this round where you're not ready for it, where you're not just swinging straight in to take the... What in the world is going on here? You know what? The first game confused me. I didn't know what I was looking at Valorant-wise. Now I'm just perplexed across the board.
Move very swiftly on. as swiftly on as I can. Here we go. Kayak. He is stealing the show! We said, does he have a round left in him? It turns out this is his game! His And well, maybe even a little bit more. He's looking to send Gentle Mates packing. It's over. It's done. Fnatic with an in-zone flawless. You never would have guessed it. A dominant performance from start to finish. And Kayak is the man of the moment.
Land jitters, nerves, what are those? This is a lower bracket run. And the young gun to step it up and deliver when he's needed. Gentle Mates, they popped off to start this. Their win against Apex and Kickoff, it made us scared for what they could do, but they have fizzled out, albeit against strong competition. Your Heretics, your Fanatics, they're not going anywhere. And for now, well, I am impressed by what we've seen. These are two maps where Fnatic have struggled before, and they came in here today with limited turnaround time, and they have delivered tenfold what they did last time.
397 ACS for Kayak. Sometimes there is nothing you can do. And as said, for the side of Gentle Mates, you come in, first tournament as a team, you play against Heretics, who are obviously unchanged from last year, Fnatic, who have brought in some extra players along the way. Those are respectable teams to lose to. It's not how you're going to want your story to begin, but at the same time, I think there's so much more to see from this roster. Now they have some time to work. I'm really excited to see what comes up for them going into stage one, because I do think this is a team with an awful lot to offer.
Absolutely. Now you talk about time to work, and exactly like you said, and as we started out this series talking about, if they don't go, we'll see them in stage one. We won't see them at M1, but we know that with a month and a half to prep, this squad, they can reach new heights, because we've seen the potential here already. For Mates, this is the end of their story in Kickoff, but the start of their story this year, and I'm excited to see where it goes. For another team, though, it looks like the storybook hasn't changed. It's the same old theme. Fnatic, they're fighting for their crown.
Yeah, for sure. I think the doubts that were there were placed on the shoulders of the young duelist. You're looking to try and replace a Durka, and that was what people were saying. Oh, he's not doing that. He's not been able to do that in his first game. Well, versus Na'Vi, he did a pretty good job. Versus Gentle Mates, he did an incredible job. And